Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I am Heather with Rose Hill Paper Cottage, and this is my design team project for Ruby and Pearl XO. So today I'm sharing this really super simple, easy project that was inspired by this piece of ephemera that I had found. And I thought it was like, I don't know, like a college announcement or a wedding announcement or something like that. Has this really pretty deckled edge. And I just thought it was really pretty. So when I opened it up, I realized it was holding a photo and I thought, oh my gosh, how cute is this? So they cut like slots in it to hold the photo, and it has an emblem of some sort, embossed on it. I'm not sure what it's to or, whatever. Maybe it's the makers of it. Haven't researched it. But anyway, when I pulled the photo out, I actually realized that it's a postcard. And I have seen this before where they've taken their own personal photos and made them into postcards. So it must have been a thing at some point. And it's a little skinnier than some of the postcards that I have, but I mean, that doesn't really matter. They kind of vary in size, just slightly. So Heather put out this new kit called the Bella kit, and well, it's called Bella, not kit. It is a kit. I cracked myself up. Okay, so anyway, I printed it out on a lightweight cardstock just to kind of mimic the original. And I use these two images. So one is this beautiful, kind of wallpaper look. And then the other side is like a faded image with like text over the top, like, I don't know, a marriage document or, poem or something like that. And I printed this on A4 paper. So it's going to totally work with letter size paper. Either one, doesn't matter. The actual dimensions of this card, if that's important, I mean, you can do this any size you want to. The actual dimensions are 5.75 by 8.75 inches. And if you're in centimeters, then it's 15 by about 22.5 centimeters. But again, it doesn't matter. It's all determined on just the photo or postcard or whatever that you're using. And all of that kind of stuff can be trimmed down as well. So you'll see what I end up doing. I had originally thought, I'll use one of these postcards. Heather has a kit called Paris Postcards. She also has postcard backs. So it's a postcard kit with just, like all the different backs to it, which I'll use, you'll see. And so you can make anything a postcard if you want to. It's really super easy. And instead of cutting the slots, I'm just going to use these photo corners. So I got this like mixture of photo corners in all kinds of different, like gold, silver, metallic, and then like a craft, a white, and a black. So to make that deckled edge, I have these scissors. You could also use pinking shears, which I just showed briefly there, but you can use a ruler. It doesn't have to have that decorative edge, and you can use any other kind of decorative scissor. I just like that deckled edge. I just thought it was, cute, and it looked like an envelope to me, and I just thought it was really pretty. So I printed off a couple of these images, and you'll see I did 2 to a page there, and then here's the backs of the postcard that I printed. So there's lots of different images, though, that you can use in all the different kits to match whatever you want to match. So this is the A4. I just printed. I told my computer that I had A4 paper, and I printed it, and then I flipped it over, and I told my printer that I had letter size paper, which is 8.5 by 11. So you can see that it prints the postcard back a little bit smaller. Now they can be trimmed down as well, just depending on how close all the writing is to the edges of the postcard. But, it doesn't really, you can make it work, basically is what I'm saying. It doesn't matter which way that you do it. But if you want a closer size, it doesn't matter what kind of paper that you're putting in, whether it be letter size or A4, just select that you're using letter size paper and then it'll print it the smaller size. There's lots of tricks, for printing. So I'm going to, roughly tear off all of these edges. And because it's a little bit rougher than I like, you'll see that I'll trim it up with scissors after. Just to kind of get the, fizzy bits. I don't really like as much, using a ruler to cut a lightweight cardstock. I prefer that for like regular paper. But again, it's all fixable. Everything works out. It just does. So I'm going to trim off this side here to kind of get the dimensions of what I'm using. And those pieces are great for, making tags out of them or whatever. And I may do that actually later. Now that I've reminded myself of that great idea, I may just make like a cute little like tag and kind of create like a little bundle, but you'll see what I end up doing. A lot of times when you don't have something in mind for a particular project that you're making, it'll evolve later. If you already have something in mind though, then you kind of like go with that and it's just easier to just do the finished product. But sometimes it's just not. I hope I'm making sense. I have had coffee and my energy drink already today, so I am just buzzing a mile a minute. I got all kinds of different ideas. But basically what I'm saying is you don't always have to finish everything right when you're doing it unless you know it's for a specific project or a happy mail. I mean, this is a perfect project for happy mail. Pen pals. It's also perfect for creating like cards for the holiday. I mean, how cute would that be? Like you open it up and then, maybe your Christmas card is in there, whether you've made it or whether you've had it, formally done. So lots of ideas. So I am folding this in line with the current document, that I have. But your folds can go wherever you want and just trim off your excess. And I'm obviously altering mine slightly from the original because I'm going to leave the inside flap longer. You could also just keep it shorter and like stitch or glue the sides of that little thing to have actually a little pocket instead. So I'm just going to neaten up everything a little bit and then I'll come in with my decorative scissors. Now I could have used the flap going either way as well. It just makes more sense to me opening it from right to left than left to right, but you could, or you could even turn it horizontal instead of the vertical way and do something like that instead. So totally up to you. Just think about those, if that matters to you, how you're going to print the inside. So totally up to you. So I'm actually going to give my inside flap a decorative edge as well. And I bought these scissors like ages ago. Like I've literally had them probably like 2 decades or something. I don't know, but it's been a long time. So I just used it to line it up. If you don't have, anytime you make a corner cut, you can take that corner, put it on the other side, and then you kind of know where to go. You could also use like an existing tag shape that you have or whatever, or you could measure it all out if you want to. I was fighting with the sun a little bit, in and out, in and out. And so I cut out some like little bright spots, but that's just because, it was so glaring. Big windows are great, but also the sun can blind you. So anyway, I tried to do as best I could because when the sun is like kind of hidden behind the clouds, the lighting on this is perfect. So now I'm going to ink around it. Don't you like all my little tidbit of information in the background? I feel like you've seen me do this though, like a bazillion times of inking. I've got a little bit of gold. I got a little vintage photo. Sometimes I pull out the antique linen. But these are my two, favorites. I like to go back and forth with both of them. I don't know. I just like the dimension it gives. But you do you. You do what works best for you. I probably should have just sped this part up. But that's all right. You get to see this pretty pattern. And this is so simple. Such a simple little project. And you can just see I'm just inking haphazardly. I don't need it to all be uniform. I just kind of want it to blend in with the existing look of the overall, image. So now I'm going to choose one of the backs for the postcard. And I'll end up, going with that middle one. And then I'm going to use, I'm like thinking there, but I'm going to use that first image on top there of that lady. And I'll even cut her down further as I change my mind. So you'll kind of see how it goes, my decisions in it. And if the video looks a little bit choppy, that's because I chopped out some of the brightness from the sun, because it just bleaches out the whole image. I'm still trying to, figure that all out. I really do love having that big window in front, if you've seen my craft room, but it just, because it's curved, it doesn't have a blind on it. I don't even know where, how I would even attempt to put something up to filter the light. I just have big curtains that go across. And so, it is what it is. So here I'm making the image a little bit smaller because I'm going to actually end up just using the lady, because I decided I was going to use the same background that I used on the actual card for the postcard back, basically. And I mean, here's the collage sheet from the kit, and there's all kinds of different things that you could pair it with. Just to make it a little bit different, or, add a little bit of, a pretty element along with it. So there's lots of options. There comes that sun. So I'm trying to figure out my size. I am going to use that middle one, but I am going to have to end up trimming it up a bit. And I don't actually know why I went with the middle one. Any of them would have matched, but I think I liked the fancy writing on this one as opposed to the other two. The font was just, I don't know, it just seemed more feminine, I guess. So I'll add glue. I'll add that image on top of it. So see, you can see where I had printed on that other side to kind of show you the difference between the two prints, but it doesn't matter. This print that I'm using covers that all up. And, what I had printed on the other side was so, not a lot of color, not a lot going on. So you're not going to see it underneath with what I've paired it with. So I'll just trim all this up. And, I'll have to make it a little bit smaller as I, size it, because I have to think about those photo corners and making those fit as well, so that everything is all, kind of perfectly aligned. So obviously this is too big. So I'll trim it down a little bit, which is fine because the pattern on front is really forgiving. I only have to pay attention to the writing on this side. So you'll see me tear it initially, but eventually I'll go back and cut it with scissors. And then you'll kind of see me kind of like rough it up, age it up a little bit, like it's been handled. I probably should have even roughed it up a little bit more, but you'll kind of see. So I take off just a little bit of the extra distressing. So not truly cutting, but like trimming. So I got to trim it, I think, just slightly more, just to allow those photo corners to, be on the inside of the document. So I'm going to age it all up. You'll kind of see me come back and distress a little bit of the corners with my scissors. You'll see I also use like a nail file as like a sandpaper to, rough it all up as well. Even on the pattern side, just to kind of knock it down a little bit. So there it is, all finished. And I toyed with the idea of taking that piece that had been at the top, like to kind of make it like it was like a little scrap over it, like a piece of washi or tape, but I don't actually end up using that. I'll use it somewhere else. But I mean, it would have looked cute too. So now I'm deciding which photo corner I want. And so I'm going to try them all. Except for the silver. I know I'm not going to want the silver. Although I don't know why. Because, like, looking at it now, I mean, silver could have been good too, but I'll ultimately go with the black. I originally was going to go with the white, but it just seemed, I don't know, like it really stood out, as opposed to like the black, it just, I don't know. And you can age them. You can age the white ones. You can even age the craft colored ones. But I just went with these. And even though they're sticky, I still add glue because I feel like they pull up. I don't feel like they're like so sticky that they stay over time. And I kind of pull them off of my photo just a little bit. You'll kind of see there. And the reason for that is that I want the picture to be able to come out of those easily without having to like tear the paper or anything. Should the end, user, whoever this goes to, wants to pull that photo out and then journal back behind it. Isn't that so cute? So you can do all sorts of different things. I'm just adding like a little piece of age tape because I'm addicted and, it just seems like nothing's complete without age tape. I do love it. I love it. But I was also thinking on the right where all that writing is, like if you wanted to make, a journal spot or whatever, that frame that's with the other lady would be so perfect for that. But I end up using it as a second journal spot. You'll see. But you could, glue something over that to also, create an additional one. So I'm just using this really pretty, like sparkly trim. I got it here in the UK, but I have gotten it before at like, Joann's or Hobby Lobby or, one of those stores. So, and I'll skip through a lot of this where you won't see me actually like create these, but I'll show it at the end and you'll see. But that's that frame I was talking about, that you could have used that frame on the inside to cover up that writing to go next to the lady. And then, I don't know, written a poem or just, a verse of some sort. So lots of different little options, but I will do these the rest of the way, off camera, and then I'll come back and you'll see actually, because it's a different day. You're going to see I'm going to put some like glove things on that actually match my project, I think. Not that I was trying to. It just gets cold here in the morning. I'm so not used to it quite yet. So here we are. Here's the next day. And so I'm going to share with you kind of just what I did. So I added a couple of cards in there and I just think it turned out really cute. It's really simple. There's a lot of different ways though to finish off that envelope. I'm showing here the clip. So you could just take a paper clip, and because of where the edge of that meets, there's plenty of room on the paper clip to capture it. So that way it could be closed with a paper clip. You could also do an eyelet, or a brad or something like that. You could, however you want to do it, you could do it. You could make it work. The way I've done it though is perfect if it's for Happy Mail because it's flatter as opposed to putting a big, bulky bow and, ribbon or something like that on top of it. So I added that extra little piece of paper there, a little bit of tape. And then on the back, I can't remember what I did. Oh, I think I added piano roll paper. That's what I did. Yeah. And the blue on it, it matches perfectly to the blue that's in the like wallpaper print. It's like so perfect. But I mean, you could back it with anything you want to. Like, look how perfect those blues are. So perfect. And the other card, you know, I put a dictionary page in between and then folded that all up, and it'll just be so cute tucked in there. And like I said, I may go back and add like a tag or something. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, feel free to, ask me below, and I will do my best to get back to answer you. But otherwise, have a fabulous day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.